Pralaya payodhi jale dritavana shiveda Vihita vahitra charitra makeda
Pralaya payodhi jale dritavana shiveda Vihita vahitra charitra makeda
Keshavadrita mina sharira Jai
Can you recite the last bit?
It's just like a shloka.
But we always just recite it. Just you, the reader.
Oh,
you please.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Vedan udarate jaganti bahate bhugaulam udipurate daityam tarayate balim chayalayate kshatrakshayam kurvate Kaulasham jayate halam karunyam madanvate mlecham mujayate dasakriti kate Krishna Tubyam Namaha.
Okay. Namaste Nrsimhaya.
Namaste Nrsimhaya.
Prahlada Maharaja Dayanhe.
Prahlada Maharaja
Hiranyakashipu Rakshaha. Shilatangana Kalaye. Hito Nrsimha Karato Nrsimha. Yato yam hitato Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimha Vidaye Nrsimha. Nrsimha Madhyam Sharanam Praptaye. Vakara Kamala Pare Nakama Buddhashimham Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanapinam. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlada Maharaja, Jaya Prahlada Maharaja, Prahlada Maharaja, Jaya Prahlada Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. And Mahamantra Sudarshan Shiva.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Premanande. So first we'd like to invite Sudarshan Prabhu, please. What comes to heart and mind, share with us and use that mic, please. Jai Sudarshan Prabhu. Jai Gurudev. Do you want us to hold the mic? Yeah, he wants you.
Yeah, I can hold. I'll try.
And we have many online too.
Dhanavats. Jai devotees, really such an important day in the life of a Vaishnava, particularly a life of Vaishnava in Chaitanya Saraswat, because today is the day that Gurudev came to the mat, Srila Govinda Maharaj. And there's a lot to that. And I think I will let you speak to that.
Okay.
I'll briefly say some things that we've heard from Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj about the pastime of Lord Nrsimhadeva. It's said in Srimad Bhagavatam that all the universes and all the planets exist for the Lila of the Lord, and that the number of avatars of the Lord is more than there are waves in the sea. So we have to rearrange our mental outlook to understand that everything in existence is existing to serve His play, including us. And to take a route in our consciousness toward that identity, that's the proper identity, in tune with reality. And the Lord Himself in all His play is creating so many different wonderful feelings within the devotees and showing many lessons. Nrsimhadeva is a particularly wonderful incarnation of the Lord, half man, half lion. All of our ideas of possibility and impossibility are wrong. Everything is possible within the play of the Lord. And someone who truly understands reality understands that reality is without limit. In fact, that is the meaning of Vaikuntha. Kunta means limit. Vaikuntha means no limit. So the person in Vaikuntha consciousness is a devotee, a real devotee, and someone who has some acquaintance with what is actually the fundament of reality. So the play of the Lord, Guru Maharaj says, the play of the Lord is always exciting. And he says, and when you see Krishna for the first time, you're going to be surprised. Doesn't matter what you have in your head, you're going to be surprised. So everything is going to be astonishing, wonderful, and ever fresh. That's the teaching of Mahaprabhu. Pratipadam purna amrita svadanam. Guru Maharaj's translation of this first verse of Shikshastakam by Mahaprabhu. Pratipada, at every instant, purna amrita. Purna means infinity. Amrita means nectar. A new infinity of nectar is being created at every instant. That's what's happening in reality. So a fresh taste, never before been tasted. That infuses all of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So to set our mind properly within infinity, to set our mind properly within the land of infinite possibility, that's actually truth. And then we can maybe appreciate a little bit the Lila of the Lord by the grace of the great devotees. Guru Maharaj has said different things about the play of Nrsimhadeva. Gurudev also commented extensively on the play of Nrsimhadeva. The story is told by Jiva Goswami of the previous lifetime of Prahlad, that there's actually a temple of the Lord, and Prahlad is wanting to be with, in his previous life, wanting to be with one girl. And so he comes to the temple and cleans it very, very nicely so that he can be with that girl in that temple at night. And he said that the Lord is not taking any offense. He's seeing the best possible good within the soul. Oh, he's cleaning my temple like that. Even though not so pure circumstance that's described. But in the next time, he has some opportunity to actually, this is the description of Jiva Goswami, to actually participate in the Lila of the Lord. And it said that Prahlad is in the mood of Shantarasa. Shantarasa means, Shanta means peace. Shantarasa means the first time when you actually become acquainted with what is reality, the mood that is coming to the devotee is complete peace. Because you're understanding that at the basis of all of reality is your friend. All this anxiety, all this fear and anticipation of bad things that we have permeating our consciousness is all illusion. Actually, proper understanding of reality, you understand that the basis of reality is your guardian, your best friend. And Guru Maharaj defines that as who knows what's good for you more than you know, and who wants what's good for you more than you want. So that's the basis of reality, and Guru Maharaj says, the designer of your destiny. So to come acquainted with that truth, that fundamental truth of reality is called Shantarasa, moving into relationship with the Lord in peace. And Prahlad Maharaj is demonstrating that because he's born to like an intergalactic asura who's so powerful that he's taking over many different planetary systems and different dimensions. You can say there's different dimensions given in the Veda, Bhur, Bhuva, Svaha. Svaha means heavenly planets, Swargaloka. And he's taking over these different planetary systems and also different dimensions of reality. So incredibly powerful personality. And he has his own backstory, Hiranyakashipu, who's the father of Prahlad. And later in Prahlad's life, when he's very young, he's already a devotee of the Lord. He's like teaching his schoolmates, no, there's an actual personality at the basis of reality, and all energy is his. And Hiranyakashipu was like, what are you talking about? All the energies are mine, And the teachers are very hesitatingly telling Hiranyakashipu, this idea that there's a supreme controller, this is coming from your own son. And so, in the play, Prahlad's guardian is actually, in some ways, putting him through different types of tortures, throwing him off a cliff, putting him in boiling oil, throwing him in the pit of snakes, etc., etc. And we're seeing that. And Guru Maharaj says, his guardian in this life is putting him through this, but he is always internally connecting to his real guardian. And this is the example for us. Are we seeing the situation properly? And then ultimately, Lord Nrsimhadeva is coming in the climax of the story. And, Hiranyakashipu is saying the very common atheistic statement, right? If you're ever arguing or have some kind of conversation with an atheist, the first thing they're going to do is point to something bad in the world, and they say, your God allowed that, But Hiranyakashipu is making it very personal. He's saying, I'm torturing you, and what's your God going to do? And then, of course, he's trying, and nothing is happening to Prahlad, but then he's like, well, where is he? He's like, he's everywhere. Oh, he's everywhere. Great. Yeah, okay, I got it. It's just a classic atheistic statement. But he's very powerful, and he says, is he in this pillar? And yes, he's in the pillar. And Hiranyakashipu smashes the pillar with his full strength. The pillar breaks open. And in that moment, the Lord chooses to make his advent. And of course, at the same time, performing many miracles, because Hiranyakashipu received all these boons from Lord Brahma. He could not be killed inside, outside, couldn't be killed like now, this perfect time. The sun is down, so it's not daytime, but it's not dark, so it's not day or it's not night. He's in this type of situation. There's a roof, there's a covering, but it's kind of inside, kind of outside, etc. Right? All these criteria given by Lord Brahma, they're all met at the same time. And in the moment of this conversation, he comes and Guru Maharaj says, the real guardian appears in the midst of the tortures of the false guardian. So, and then wonderfully, he kills the great demon, this intergalactic demon. None of the demigods can mess with him. And he's dominating aspects of the universe. And then, showing his anger form, the Lord is appeased finally by his real devotee. Little 5-year-old boy, Prahlad, gives him a garland, and then Nrsimhadeva sits him on his lap. So many things, so many wonderful truths and teachings within this. But Nrsimhadeva is said to be the protector of the devotees. So we can know, to move into Shantarasa means to know that at the basis of reality is your guardian. Not in a theoretical way, not in some like, oh, that's an interesting idea. But like actually for real, the truth is that. And Prahlada Maharaja showed that in his pastime. The devotee is showing this, and then the Lord is showing his play. So a beautiful remembrance on this day. And always, Srila Prabhupada had the devotees chant the Nrsimha prayers. That's why we all know that. And really, he's protecting the devotees. Really. So, what can I say? Fallen soul, small offering, trying to remember the teachings of our great Guru Varga. And remember Nrsimha Bhagavan. And the infinite play of infinite reality. Jai Nrsimha Chaturdasi ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai.
We'll just take a moment here. I believe Avadhut Maharaj is online. 5 minutes. Rai Kishori, can you just say a few words? It could be 10. We'll see.
Dhanavad all devotees. There's a very nice sentence that Srila Guru Maharaj says about this particular festival. He says, Prahlad had one vision of reality, and Hiranyakashipu had another. And the Lord verified Prahlad's vision of reality. And I always thought this is, because ultimately there's transformation that's happening in every story. That's the substance of a story, is there's movement that's going on. And one very unusual aspect of this particular festival is it's actually quite intense what Prahlad is going through. He's exhibiting such a peaceful mood, and the circumstance couldn't be more dramatic. If we want to use Western terms, we would call this traumatic. Like we're heading into trauma after trauma after trauma, right? Like we're trying to relieve ourselves with therapy to some extent of the traumas of the past. But one of the troubles with therapy is that birth, death, old age, and disease mean that we're heading into trauma regardless of what's happened in the past, even if we can adjust ourselves. There's a very intense situation that we've been thrown in. Hence why all the scriptures are giving very intense remembrances. Like, remember, you won't be here very long. There's a core to what's going on, and the main thing that everything's kind of pushing towards always is to refocus and recenter. And they're saying, always remember him, never forget him. Over and over. And something unique about Prahlada Maharaj is we don't have any idea who Prahlada Maharaj is or what the caliber of his realization is unless he's going through these circumstances. So there's something very revealing about going through obstacles. They're starting to reveal what is inside of the heart of the devotee. And we shouldn't think, right? Like think of the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Pashupaki hoye taki svargabani roye. You want to put me in the body of a beast. You want to put me in the body of a bird. Svarge, you want to put me in heaven. Niroye, in hell. You put me wherever you want to put me. Right? Prahlada Maharaj his prayers are not, please relieve me from my father who's very evil and trying to murder me. Which is a serious situation to find yourself in. There's something that's occurring in the heart of the devotee that is so surrendered, right? They're saying, Abhaya Charanaravindra, like some fearlessness. And we realize really, if we're kind of like just a little bit honest with ourselves, that we're covered in oceans of fear, actually. It's like so many layers, like fear of other people, how they'll see us, maybe they won't, they see past the projection of I want them to see. Maybe I'm actually not that wonderful. All these things. If I do this, maybe I'll fail and everyone will notice. All these strange things. But really, when you have an ideal, there's something that those things start to kind of fade and they're becoming so negligible, right? There's something to live for and it's actually more important than this current like bag that I'm wandering in. Really? If we're a soul on an infinite journey, there must be something more than just like base self-preservation that's going on. And really the lives of the sadhus are these unbelievable examples of it. And we want to remember these days because they're actually, and Guru Maharaj says this in, I can't remember his sermons, 1 or 2, he goes, remembering the stories of the saints like Prahlad. He goes, they are standing like pillars of faith, affirming, yes, this is possible. So just remembering these festivals is enhancing our own faith. Oh, such a beautiful, wonderful soul. He was alive. And he was not alive in what we would consider glamorous circumstances. So what will come? Like, why am I exempt from going through unglamorous circumstances? We don't know what the Lord is providing inside of those circumstances, but we're hearing over and over again that the source of what's coming to us is affectionate to us. So we don't know what's inside of that situation. We don't know what's in that abyss. We don't know what's in that darkness. And we don't go looking for it and mysteriously, if we care to listen to anyone that we meet, they have some trouble that they're going through, right? Prahlada Maharaj is going through extreme, and in Guru Maharaj's own words, he says like, Prahlad's father caused him grievous problem or suffering, acute, right? It's like, these are not intense things. And if you listen to the prayers at the end, when all of the different kinds of beings are coming to try and worship Nrsimhadeva, for the most part, they're saying like, oh, we would play instruments and we were not allowed to. Thank you, Lord, for allowing. We used to intergalactically travel. Oh, now we couldn't, but now we can. They're all kind of like provincial in a sense, like, now the universe is restored back to its way. It was kind of off before, but you've come and you've restored what's gone. But like very different prayer coming from Prahlad. And very significant. And then, according to the gradation of rasa, they're saying this is like the beginning. And so if we have some problem in our life where we don't see the Lord, and we don't see that necessity for adjustment, then we know where we are. Prahlad is to exemplify the beginning, and he's going through that. What is surrender? What are these qualities? They're so deep. So we don't have to worry about like imagining ourselves in any other place. We can get like a nice truth serum, like if we're having trouble like driving and someone cuts us off, then it's a good truth serum where we're at. Not very, it's like Bhagavad Gita saying, a man is leaving his body and going into another body, and a wise man is not disturbed by such a change. Well, if we're feeling disturbance, then we know we're not very wise. It's okay. And that's okay because we have to start from the truth. You don't have anywhere to move up unless you have the truth. That's where humility comes into play. We're like, oh, Somehow or other, despite myself, I find myself here. What a miracle. I get a chance to try and come into contact with your mercy. This is a miracle. This is like a very happy place for the soul, actually, right? We can feel, actually, there's relief from like the never-ending, aggrandized, controlling, acquiring, consuming mind, right? There's some relief that is like, oh, I'm here to serve. Then you like, I'm here to try and contribute, not worry about what someone gave to me the other day. So Prahlad's story, and really the stories of so many saints, is so intense. And we can worship that sacrifice and that service and that feeling that he's showing, really, like, you know, there's a reason that one of these qualities is confidence in the Lord's protection. This is considered like a natural state for a faithful person, is confidence in the Lord's protection. He is there behind all things, and whatever he wants me to go through, I want to go through that, right? I've been making my own plans and they don't work out so great, but whatever you want me to go through, I'm excited for that, right? And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, let me learn to love your lotus feet as much as I now love the objects of my senses. Like, so beautifully, like non-imposing kind of prayers, actually coming from, really, we can say, the merciful realm. And then, finally, Prahlad is getting the chance to offer his own heartfelt prayers, and the Lord is so happy with him. He's charmed by the heart of Prahlad. And he said, I'm so happy with you, what can I give you? Right, this is like actually, there's so many beautiful things. Nature, Guru Maharaj's own words, the organic whole. It's alive. That's what it means. We are not alone in an empty, dead world. Ever. And there is reciprocation, but we may not perceive it due to so many reasons. So that heart of Prahlad is getting reciprocated, actually, by the heart of the Lord, and this is natural. And all sorts of stories are exemplifying this. We are not alone, and there's reciprocation from the other side. And he's saying, what can I reciprocate with you? And then Prahlad's own prayers, and this is in classic devotional fashion, we could say, right? If there is such a thing. You know, please have some mercy on my father. You know, they're saying, like, the nature of someone who is saintly is they have some compassion inside of them. Think about it. Is there like a reason to be more bitter towards anyone else than his father? You know, we hear stories, sometimes people are talking about some frustrating experience and they can't get over it. They're like chanting it and they're living inside of it and they're going back there and they're meditating on it. And there's no relief for that person. That's like you're almost locked there, staying there. And this is immediately after this situation. And the first thing he's saying, please, you give some affection to this person. This is such a broad vision of reality, actually. So Prahlada Maharaj is such a beautiful example, actually. All of the scriptures are advocating a very unique kind of mercy, a unique kind of tolerance, and an offering towards whatever the Lord wants us to go through. And showing it in a very charming way, actually, right? This aspect of like, that the Lord is surprising is very amazing, right? A never before seen, conceived of aspect of divinity will reveal itself. And that's the significance of the heart of the devotee, that the Lord is so charmed by the affection in their heart, he will reveal himself in new color, in new form, in everything in that moment. And it's so exciting, actually. Then we go, oh, it's like really the greatest adventure in reality is to try and serve him, right? If we can become consumed in the material energy by one person, and it's possible. We can like 24 hours a day somehow or other find ourselves like hypnotized. Why would the supreme infinite source of reality be anything less? The most interesting person, right? The most amazing kind of the most wonderful feeling. And look, all the stories are saying, actually the scriptures are singing his glories and they're feeling like very inadequate. then he must be very wonderful. He must be so merciful. He must be so sweet. Oh, sorry. I didn't know it was Maharaj, please.
No.
Yeah, so anyways.
Let's conclude. I think Avadhut Maharaj must be enjoying this.
Okay. Then he must be very sweet. And then we know that we can spend our lives also trying to attempt to worship and glorify that Supreme Lord. Right? All of these personalities, and they're still going, there's something unique. So it's very exciting, very hopeful, and actually the story of Prahlad has so much mercy inside of it. Really, so many things we can learn, that this dance between the dark and light, it's happening every day, it's happening today, it happened 1,000 years ago, and we also are going to go through obstacles, and they have transformation inside of them, and they have beauty ultimately inside of them, right? We're meant to go through some transformation. We don't want to leave this place the same as we are right now, really. So anyways, Jai Prahlada Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Nrsimha Dev ki Jai, and all glories to the devotees.
Jai Rai Kishori Dd ki Jai. Srila Avadhut Maharaj, Dandavat. He's in Nepal right now. Which part of Nepal are you in? Pokhara.
Another wonderful things. Nrsimhadeva Prabhu took sannyas, and by blessing Srila Goswami Maharaj, his name now Bhakti Rasananda Tirtha Maharaj. So he's Bhakti Rasananda Tirtha Maharaj. Very beautiful name, and already he got half of the sannyasi name when he received initiation from Goswami Maharaj. And Bhuvan Prabhu, who is on very terminal cancer stage, took also sannyas. His name is now Bhakti Hridoy Narayan Maharaj. And Vijayaraman Prabhu took sannyas also today, and his name is Bhakti Vijay Nrsimha Maharaj. So we have very auspicious day today. And why is it very auspicious? As Rai Kishori mentioned, there's always fight between light and dark. And if there is no dark, there is no light. So just like in Ramayana, Ravana, one of the meaning of the name, who made all world crying. So Ravana, who is making all world crying. And Ramachandra, who is giving the bliss and joy to the whole world and universe. So it's always like that. The great devotee Prahlad and anti-devotee Hiranyakashipu. So when Prahlad said to his father, I see God everywhere. And Hiranyakashipu say, how when you see God? Why are you saying God is everywhere? I cannot see him physically. Look at this world. There's no God. The Vishnu is hiding. But not understanding, according to Bhagavad, that Vishnu is hiding in his own heart. And Prahlad, with the eyes of devotion, he can see God everywhere in everybody's heart. And Hiranyakashipu cannot even see God in his own heart. What to speak about God in the world. So this is a demonic asura bhav and devotional bhav. And always these two bhavas competing in this world and also competing in our heart. At one point, we are very selfish oriented for our mundane needs and our own ego things. And at some other point, we're thinking, hey, this will not give me the internal fulfillment. I have to follow and sacrifice myself in the feet of Krishna. So this is like that. Can you hear me what I'm saying, Sankarshan Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello? Anybody?
we can hear you. We're hearing you.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I have 8% of my battery left, so I try to be short and to the chase. So this is always going on, the eternal fight between evil and good. And in Ramachandra time, the evil live in Lanka and Ramachandra live in Ayodhya. In Mahabharata, the evil live in a family. Pandavas and Kuru, same family. Some of the saintly, some of the, sinful. And in Kali Yuga, now time, there is bad and evil living in everyone's heart. Everyone's heart. So that's why Guru Maharaj said, you try to adjust yourself and the world will be changed, because everybody and his brother are trying to change the world, but they don't understand the world within you and the whole universe within your body and mind. And if that can be changed by your own divine will, then the world will change around you. So on this very auspicious day, we're praying for full surrender and full sacrifice to Supreme Lord, as Prahlada Maharaja did. And we're happy that our devotional family is getting stronger and more increasing, and more great devotees who can teach with their own example, joining our mat, like Vijayaraman always teaching with his own example. He doesn't do too much words. One minute. And so that is how we follow and understand our tradition. So by Krishna's will, everything is going in this particular way. And it's not going the way is our own little plan. We all have little plans for ourselves. I want to do this, then I want to do this, then I want to do that. That is basically our own ego trip. But if we surrender to divine will, as Rai Kishori mentioned, when we're experiencing the plan of God, and God has a plan, Krishna has a plan of saving every living entity. So we have our own plan to save money, to save time, to save this, to do retirement, to do successful business. But Krishna has big plan for every one of us. And his plan is to bring us back home, sweet home, as Guru Maharaj said, where we can have joy and loving relationship with Supreme Lord. And today is a very auspicious day because Nrsimha Bhagwan is mentioned 7th chapter of Shrimad Bhagavatam. And Mahaprabhu actually mentioned Chaturdasi Varaha avatar appearance. So Mahaprabhu not doing something simple because there's so many Hindu holidays. But Mahaprabhu given instructions to Goswami, you describe importance of Nrsimha Chaturdasi. Why is it so important? Because it's the gateway to pure devotion. And that's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur prefer to preach in Vrindavan. Although people think, well, if I can just connect with Krishna Lila, then I can hear Krishna pastimes, then I can be purified as at highest. But Saraswati Thakur said, no, first you surrender the way Prahlada did. And then by the test of surrender, by the test of fire, some mercy will come to you. And then gradually by hearing from Krishna pastimes, will be given to you. So in Shrimad Bhagavatam, there's many times mentioned, actually Puranas, Nrsimha Lila mentioned many times. Why way it's mentioned in Shiva Purana, one way it's mentioned in other Puranas. And actually, it's quite amazing from other Puranas because you hear so many description of pastimes. And it is actually bigger than you think. But in Bhagavad Purana, which is the cream de la cream, what is mentioned is what is necessarily to digest. Like you can have a whole Mahabharata, you can have a Ramayana, but what can you digest? So remember, Vedavyas, according to Shastra, there are 28 Vedavyasas in this Kalpa, Manvantara. And this very special Vedavyas coming as Dvapayana Krishna. Dvapayana, it's interestingly, his name means two sides. Means somebody who can able to cross to another side. He's Dvapayan. And that Dvapayan Krishna Vedavyas is not satisfied after writing all the divine knowledge in Puranas. You cannot believe how much knowledge in Puranas. Narada Purana, Brahma-Vaivarta Purana. Also in that Purana, Radha Krishna pastimes mentioned. Like Brahma-Vaivarta Purana has full descriptions of Radha Krishna pastimes. But finally, after mastering all those scriptures, which is hundreds of thousands of slokas, he concentrates on 18,000 slokas, which is Sri Bhagavad Purana. And the seventh chapter, which is basically the middle. You know, we say beginning, middle, and end. So the middle, beginning, and end, these are three important parts. So end of the story, putting this Lila in the very middle of Srimad Bhagavatam, actually pointing towards other special pastimes, showing the importance of pure devotion. So beginning of pure devotion is Prahlad. And according to Guru Maharaj, who described Brihad Bhagavatamritam, it is beginning from Brahman and Jagannath Puri, then it's going to, you know, other devotees, Narada traveling, and finally he meets Prahlad, you know, and Prahlad Maharaj, then Hanuman, then, you know, Arjun, Yudhishthir, and finally into the gopis. So in this particular way, it's been designed that you cannot avoid those steps. So if somebody say, well, you know, Prahlad Maharaj, he worshipped Vishnu, we're not worshipping Vishnu, he doesn't understand. Without that stage of full sacrifice and full surrender yourself to Lord Vishnu, means God, no devotion is possible. So devotion to Radha and Krishna, to somebody who's qualified. Actually, Radha and Krishna, they're not giving devotion, they're receiving devotion. Devotion is not coming from Krishna, devotion is coming from devotee. So who is devotee? That is the question, which Narada raising in Brihad Bhagavatamrita and searching and showing us whole spectrum of devotees. Like, oh, if we think, oh, only this person is devotee, only that person is devotee. No, there's a whole spectrum of devotion, beginning, middle, event, and there's a whole spiritual evolution of devotion, which is represented very clearly in Srimad Bhagavatam. And more than that, it's purely accepted by Mahaprabhu and his followers. Then we are very safe. By celebrating day to day, we're very safe because we know that is what we need. Yeah, there are other holidays, Guru Purnima, Janmashtami, many other holidays, but everyone has its own meaning and beauty. But today day is about sacrifice and devotion. And little boy who did not do mystic yoga, he was unconquerable. He conquered all the elements. He didn't do different types of puja or sadhana. Only one way he did: fully observing Krishna consciousness and reciting name of his Supreme Lord, thinking of Lord, and he achieved incredible possibilities, not beyond mystic yoga, because he attracted Lord himself to come down from Vaikuntha and accept incredible form. Remember, Lord reciprocate according to your heart. So if you are Krishna devotee, Lord will reveal to you as a Krishna, maybe Narayan, maybe Shiva, according to your heart, inner capacity. But Prahlad is so amazing that he took Nrsimha Hari Rupa, unique form, and that form not been visited and seen by gods and sages. And it was so amazing and so incredible that, and so dangerous also, that all the gods and sages and demons were totally bewildered by that form. And only little Prahlad pacified the Supreme Lord. And he told the Supreme Lord, I'm not a trader. When Supreme Lord addressed Prahlad, he said, please, you wish anything, I grant you any boon, because I just came for you. So I have to give you some boon. Then Prahlad very simply said, I'm not vanik, I'm not trader. How can I wish something? What is my service? If my service based on, desire of achieve something, that is not devotion. That is like business. Yeah, I give you, you give me. But what I want is pure devotion. That's what I wish. Then Lord said, you already conquer my heart. You already pure devotee. You please give one desire. I like to fulfill my devotee desire. Yes, I kill the demon, but that's not the reason. Pritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chadushkitam. So vinashaya chadushkitam, I kill your father. So then Pritranaya sadhanam, I love my devotees. I like to fulfill my devotees' desire. What is your desire? Then Prahlad showing the heart of nature of Mahajan. He said, you please save my father and his demons. Then Nrsimhadeva said, you don't worry about that. Anybody who connecting with pure devotee, 100 generations will be saved. So you please Tell me something else. So this is beautiful, beautiful mood of devotion, which we should learn from. And we should understand that without that proper mood of devotion, there's no gateway to Radha Krishna pastimes. And how do we get to that point? By service of devotee, by follow of devotion from devotees, by glorifying devotees, by even when devotees have some trouble, we should try and help devotees. Because some devotees like to gossip, they like to criticize, but that's not going to be beneficial for them and for those people who they criticize. Even if they criticize in proper manner, still that is not going to be beneficial. But glorifying devotee, giving devotee hope, inspiring devotee, praying for well-being of devotee, will please Supreme Lord. So today is a very great auspicious day where we can receive that grace of Supreme Lord and glorifying devotees such as Prahlada Maharaja under the pictures of our wonderful Guru Varka who present in spiritual world, under presence of our deities and devotees, because where the devotees, there are deities and worship going on, and under our senior Vaishnava team, so Bhakti Lalita, Rai Kishori Dd, Sudarshan Prabhu, and many, many other well-wishers and our friends, and those who are, want to be part of that beautiful divine family of Chaitanya Saraswati Mata. Although by the time and particular mindset, we may not achieve, unity as it was previously with lotus feet of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That is not achievable right now, and we can understand how important was lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, by which connection everybody harmonizes. Because we cannot harmonize between ourselves, but in front of Gurudev, everybody harmonizes. And everybody remember Gurudev's sweet words, and he said, I'm not a drain inspector, so I'm not here to hear your complaints. I'm here to engage you in service. So that was unique position of Srila Gurudev. Just by his presence, everybody would be on the same page. Everybody would be ready to serve. Then we can understand a little bit what is pure Vaishnava importance. If pure Vaishnava is there, then, harmony is unescapable. And remember, Govinda Maharaj, although he knew so much and was so qualified, his mood was never to criticize anyone. In fact, when somebody would fall down from his position or feel some disturbance or done something wrong, Govinda Maharaj would invite that devotee to his own association and give him his own association. This is extremely merciful position of Vaishnava. So think of Vaishnava has so many qualities. Therefore, today we're praying to Prahlada Maharaj, you please be kind to us. Although we have no qualification and we have so much ego and so much imperfections with us, but by your grace, by remember your name and glorifying the Lord will be pleased with us, and some little blessings of devotion will come to us, and then our life will be successful. So my Dandavat Pranam, I want to be very grateful to Shrimati Bhakti Lalita to run this program, and our honorable guests and honorable ghosts as well. And today's big day for us. I've been spoken since very early morning. I had today 6 programs. The Indian program in Nepal, I'm preaching to some people. Then I had morning program. Then I had another calls. I'm a little bit weird out, but evening time we'll also witness another program within a couple hours. So then I think it's a very fortunate day for me to be all day involved in different activities. But I hope you all continue a wonderful program. I have 1% of battery left, so in this connection I will discharge. And Jai Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai, Jai Prahlada Maharaja ki Jai, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev ki Jai, all the devotees ki Jai, Go Premanande, Hare Hare.
Jai Srila Bhakti Bimala Avadhut Maharaj ki Jai. Our Dandavats, Maharaj. So great to see you and hear from you. And just a few little details, because this is the time. It's not day, it's not night. And this is called twilight. And this is the moment that Nrsimhadeva appears. And before he appeared, Swami Maharaj Prabhupada mentioned while he was being assaulted, this exchange with Hiranyakashipu was taking place, as Rai Kishori mentioned, how like intense we can't imagine, dealing with this very powerful demon that had fire burning out of his head, who was heating the whole universe, and all the demigods were scared, and this little 5-year-old boy being assaulted by this demon. And in that exchange, Prahlada Maharaja kept seeing a little peeping from the pillar, little peeping. That was Nrsimhadev showing he's there, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to kill this man. So like, I'm here, don't be afraid, and peeping from this very pillar. So that's one very beautiful detail that we heard from Srila Prabhupada. And Swami Maharaj Prabhupada also mentioned that after killing Hiranyakashipu, Nrsimhadev killed all his associates also, his demon team. And all the associates of Nrsimhadev of Hiranyakashipu who were like backing Hiranyakashipu, helping him, assisting him, they all got killed. And when there was no one left to kill, he sat down on his throne and was so angry, and just no one could calm him down. And one other detail we heard, I asked Goswami Maharaj about this today, that when Nrsimhadev came out of the pillar and he was going after Hiranyakashipu, he was roaring so loud. It was scaring everybody. And one miscarriage took place in a Brahmin family. This Brahmin woman was pregnant and lost her baby. And that Brahmin cursed the Lord. Like, you made my wife miscarry by your sound. Then you will never enjoy family life in your other incarnations. And you will forget who you are. You won't know your power and your majesty. And the parallels there are Ramachandra being ousted from family life and being in exile, and then after exile finally coming back, he has to banish his wife Sita, and then she, in the very end of her pastimes, she goes back into the earth. So no happiness from family life took place. Also Mahaprabhu, he had to leave his wife, Vishnu, his first wife dies, Lakshmi Priya gets bitten by the snake of separation. And his second wife, 13 years old, he's leaving her. And Guru Maharaj mentioned that there was never any sensual exchange between Vishnu Priya and Mahaprabhu. She was like 13 years old when he left. So that curse the Lord accepted. Okay, I'm being cursed by a Brahmin, I will take that. And then he showed that in especially Ram Lila and Mahaprabhu's Lila. So after killing all the associates of Hiranyakashipu, the Lord is furious. He sat down on Hiranyakashipu's very own throne. He sat down on the throne, and the gods were terrified, and everyone was just not knowing how to calm him. Lakshmi Devi, it is mentioned, Srila Maharaj said she could have calmed him down, but she pushed Prahlada Maharaja in front. She pushed him, you go and calm him down. And he comes forward, and the Lord Gurudev said he started licking Prahlada Maharaj and purring like a cat, like a lion, when he's happy with his children and his family. Licking and purring and sitting on the lap of Nrsimhadev. So we saw this ferocious form of the Lord now being pacified by his devotee. So some wonderful, beautiful things we heard from our Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And Sudarshan Prabhu asked me to mention that Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sindar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj joined the Math on this day, Sri Nrsimha Chaturdasi, in 1947. That makes 77-year anniversary of joining the mission. And Srila Gurudev was, his father had passed away in Vamanpara. He was 16 years old. He was the eldest of his brothers. He had two other brothers, Dhananjaya and Vishwarup. And he went to provide for his family because he was the oldest child. He had a widowed mother, two other brothers. They had their family compound, their cows. So Gurudev was sent to Nadanga, to the nearest town, where he worked as a doctor's assistant. And he was very happy there. He loved the doctor and the family and all the people. And he said he even loved the rickshaw-wallas. They loved him. He was just in, like, you know, some very happy phase of his life. Even though his father left, who was so dear to Gurudev. His father was Nitai Pada Das Adhikari. He was a very jolly personality, very loving, and he always protected Gurudev from Gurudev's mom, who was the disciplinarian. And he was a kirtanier, and Gurudev said, like, you know how some Bengali Vaishnavas are so jolly and they're cutting vegetables, chanting Hari Bol, Jai Nitai. Whatever he'd do, cooking, he was always chanting. Just very like Gaudiya Vaishnav, jolly, loving. And his father left. Gurudev went on and provided for his family. And then everything changed when the Chaitanya Saraswat Math preachers came to Narangat, and they set up a pandal and were preaching, and Gurudev would hear them. It was for several days. Bhagavatam, Harikatha, and the whole town would come, and Gurudev would listen, and he said, they washed my brain. I got brainwashed by these great, very powerful preachers of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And he said the main preacher reminded him of Srinivasacharya in the assembly of Raja Bhirambir. Just glorious, shining, effulgent personality. And I believe his name was Sudarshan. Yeah. Sudarshan Brahmachari. And so Gurudev was like, yes, this world is nothing, family is nothing, you know, Krishna consciousness is everything, okay. They said, okay, they saw they have this boy that's very interested, he's young, beautiful, talented, let's bring him. We, you know how it is when we're preaching to people and we see someone very qualified, like, you gotta come meet our guru, we want them to be devotees. So he said, okay, you can take me. And they said, okay, when? Like, but if we're gonna go, we gotta go now. Gurudev was always like, never say no. And like, if something is auspicious, do it immediately. So that time there were no boats in the Ganga. It was like early morning. They swam across the Ganga, which was very big and vast. And Gurudev was brought into the Math. And he said he was a little taken back. He expected something, you know, he's heard the Ramayana and the Mahabharata and expected something different than what he saw. He saw a little small hut and a big bamboo pole with a flag and very jungle, humble settings. He expected like a rishi's ashram and like something very different, but he was a little hesitant when entering, and then the team of the Chaitanya Saraswat Mat devotees saw that and said, don't worry, this is a small place, but there's a big sadhu inside. So they brought him to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. This was Nrsimhadev's, this is the early morning of Nrsimha Chaturdasi, 1947. And Gurudev said when he saw Srila Sridhar Maharaj for the first time, it was like he was reminded of Sanatan Goswami, what he envisioned Sanatan Goswami to look like, very aristocratic, very tall, very fair, very Brahminical, very elegant. And he was very much inspired to see Srila Sridhar Maharaj and offered his obeisances. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj asked, like, so how long can you stay? How long are you planning to stay? And Gurudev said, like, he was a little like insulted by that, like, excuse me, but I'm here forever. I came here, I'm never leaving. And like, that's it. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj was very happy. Of course, some drama ensued with the family. All of a sudden, their stream of financial support ended. Gurudev stopped working. And they heard he's in Navadvip, in a sadhu's ashram, and sending everyone to go and bring him back. And at one point, there was the whole village, like mob came to get him. And there was one elder there with them, and they were going to get Gurudev back, and they were pulling Gurudev physically, and he was holding on to bars. You know how in India they have bars on all the windows? He was holding the bars, and they were pulling his legs, and then this chaos, and then this wise man said, stop, this is not going to work. We need to negotiate something here. So they went to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who said, like, I'll take care of the family. They can come and stay in the mat. Gurudev's mother, Gurudev's brothers. And that was the solution, that he would give shelter to the whole family and no need to worry for their maintenance. And Gurudev's brothers, Vishwarup, Jananjaya, Thakurma, Tarangini Devi, they all took initiation from Srila Sridhar Maharaj and stayed. And Gurudev would always mention one thing, that like he cannot fast. And they learned the hard way with him. On some occasion, he was fasting and there was no prasadam, nothing to eat. This was at some other point in time, but he just took some newspaper and poured some water on it, mashed it up and ate it to like make quiet the stomach. And then another occasion, he just reached out of his windows to the bars and pulled out some mango leaves, mashed it up with some water, eat. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj realized, like, we always must have some prasadam for him and not let him fast. So Nrsimhadev's appearance day is a fasting day, and Gurudev arrives in the mat on a fasting day. And he's like, oh no, like, I can't. He told Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I cannot fast. I see a papaya in the tree. And he pointed, there was a nice ripe papaya hanging in the tree. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, yes, take down and we give half to the deities and you can have the other half. So immediately accommodating Gurudev, and within 7 days, knowing this is my future successor, and the glorious Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the rest is history. And such a day, the anniversary day of Gurudev joining, and it's like something out of a storybook. So, Jai Nrsimha Chaturdasi, Jai Srila Gurudev, Bhagavan Nrsimhadev, Bhakti Prabhu, Prahlada Maharaja ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Bhakti Sindar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Vishnu Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Rupananda Guru Varga ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Bimala Avadhut Maharaj ki Jai. Rishikesh Maharaj ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Vaikunas Maharaj ki Jai. All the devotees assembled and on Zoom ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Gaur Kartal ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.